What up, y'all? It's Devin the Chicken, and we got kind of a goofy one for you today because we're only like 5 days away from Outlaws at Thunder Junction preview season, baby. So that means we got to actually start talking about, what we want from this set. Because honestly, I feel like I haven't talked about this set that much on the channel, but that's okay. I guess everybody else on the internet has at this point. A lot of people with a lot of opinions about what they want to see out of this set. So today, there you go, Chicken, we're going to add to the conversation rather than just repeat a bunch of stuff that I saw on the internet. So here's 5 things that maybe you haven't seen everywhere on Reddit and Twitter and stuff that I want from Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
And I'm your favorite Magic Channel's favorite Magic Channel. Best believe that the professor go bananas for my deck tech.
And we're back, do all the YouTube stuff, but let's go ahead and jump into the list, man. Number 5 is probably the silliest thing. This is a silly list, by the way. Usually these are somewhat serious, like they attempt to be at least, but it's me we're talking about here, so how serious can you ever take me? But anyway, I think the only serious entry on this entire list is number 1, so get ready for a ride. Number 5, Minotaur Support, and specifically I want a Universes Beyond tie-in with Cowboys of Moo Mesa. I'm an old man. Anybody else remember this in the entire... Is this a thing I dreamed up? There's pictures of it on the internet, but you don't have to do the Universes Beyond tie-in, but I do think it'd be kind of cute to have Minotaur Support in this set. We know we're getting skeleton and zombie type of stuff. We're getting oxes, a bunch of cows in this set, which kind of makes sense. You got cowboys. You're gonna have cows. So, whatever. But what I really would like to see is some Minotaurs, some cow boys. But hey, you see how stupid that one was? That's why it's number 5. Let's move on to number 4. Don't start beef with me. Hey, look, the next couple of months, you're probably going to have to deal with some cow jokes that are going to be utterly ridiculous. And you're going to tell me to cut it out, but I'm just going to raise the stakes. I'm sorry in advance is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, what's number 4? It's a reprint that I want. This is not a reprints that I want video. Those tend to be separate from the things that I want, which tend to be separate from the predictions. But I guess we're just doing it all in one video this time. Might as well throw a reprint or 2 that I want in there. And one that I want is Desert Twister. Look, I know it's a weird one, but there's going to be deserts in this set again. That's the thing that they're doing. Again, we said that we wanted it and they're doing it. So pretty perfect place for it, right? And I think that Desert Twister would be a good time to reprint this card, give green a little... take whatever you want to off the board action. I know it costs 6 mana, but I actually think there might be decks in Standard that want to play this card. Probably wrong, but I just always liked Desert Twister, and I kind of want to have it back. Look, this entry is a product of the fact that I can't just say all the things that people have already said. I want a train robbery. Oh, I want a bank heist. Oh, I want there to be a boom town. Oh, I want there to be oil. Oh, there's already oil in Standard, by the way. Oh, I want there to be cactus people. And by the way, we know there's going to be cactus people already. So I want there to be tumbleweeds. You can't say all the stuff that people have already said, right? So it leads me to say things like Desert Twister, which I actually... If you reprint this card, it's probably not really going to matter in Standard anyway. So just do it. Now my number 3 is kind of locations that I want in a cowboy set that I haven't really seen too many people suggest yet, I guess. Especially considering it's probably in some ways because all the locations I could think of, there's already cards for. At first I went to Cardsmith and started making a card called Ghost Town. And then something in my mind was wait a minute, Dev. You've been playing Magic for a long time. There's already a card called Ghost Town. Yeah, it's from Tempest, of course. I remember that. You could always just reprint Ghost Town, and it might be good in landfall decks or something like that. Who knows, right? But instead, I would like a new Ghost Town. Maybe it's a legendary land that's a Ghost Town or something like that. Same thing with Oasis. The exact same thing happened where I was like, ooh, a cowboy set is good for an Oasis card. There's already an Oasis card, of course. Of course there's already an Oasis card, but you could just do a legendary land that is an Oasis. There's also, you could do a saloon, a bar, something like that. That could be a legendary land, and I've looked, I don't think there's a saloon or a bar that's legendary that's in Magic already. Was there one in the Lord of the Rings set? Who knows, probably. But anyway, that's a thing you could do nobody's done yet. What I'm saying is I want you to play around with legendary locations a lot more. Give us more legendary lands, especially a Ghost Town. If you take nothing else from this, just know that there's not a whole lot of Wild West tropes that I'm super into. You know what I mean? I don't love Westerns or whatever. So one of the only Wild West tropes that I do like, though, is the idea of ghost towns. That's really cool, and I hope you do something with it. Anyway, what's number 2? So for number 2, I'm just going to cheat. It's slightly... explain myself. This is one that I've seen like multiple people suggest on the internet, including someone in my own community on stream the other night suggested this, and I thought it was a really good idea. And then I saw it in the comment section of a video the other day, my own video, and I was like, yeah. the more I see it, the more I think like, why won't they have to do this, right? Duels. Some with duels, like Old West High Noon duels. We already know there's a card called High Noon. We also know there's a card called This Town Ain't Big Enough. So a couple of things these could be, right? If you're going to do like a duel thing in the set. And again, it'd be really awesome if you did. You could do like fight effects, right? More something akin to fight effects. If you open a Magic rulebook from like 1993, one of the first few pages will tell you that like creatures cannot challenge each other in combat. You have to attack the opponent directly, and then the opponent can choose to block with their creatures. And the combat that you learn when you first start playing Magic. It's always been such a big part of the game. And I think it'd be actually cute if there was like a duel mechanic that does allow creatures to challenge other creatures. It would be kind of sick. But another way they could do this is to do battles. Just do battles again. You guys remember battles? There are things, sometimes you see them on Arena, people still fighting the good fight, trying to play jank, but, battles aren't terrible cards, and I thought they were like a pretty cool new card type, so they said they'd do them sparingly from here on out, and I think this would be a pretty good opportunity to do them, is to represent duels with battles. I don't know, it's a cool idea. But definitely not only my own idea, it's definitely one of the first things you think of when you think, like, stuff you can do in a Wild West environment, so all I'm saying is I cannot take credit for that one at all, but it's such a cool idea that I want to bring it up and sort of add my support to the spirit bomb that like maybe they put it in the set. But we're already at my number one. This is a pretty quick video here, but my number one is probably the one I'm going to spend the most time explaining because this is the only one that I'm actually like kind of serious about, to be honest. I really, really, really in this set, and I don't think we're going to get them, but I'd really like to have enemy Fastlands, right? We already have, friendly color pair Fastlands in standard. Like your Sea Chrome Coasts is the kind of cards I'm talking about right now. But we don't have enemy color pairs, and that's lame. And I really would like to have them in a full standard just before rotation hits. Right now, Blue-White controls a really good deck. Domain is a really good deck as well. There's a lot of sort of blue-black tempo decks that are popping off right now. They play like Gix and Deep Cavern Bat, but they also have Make Disappear and stuff like that. Esper is still popping off, great mid-range deck. And there are aggro decks in Standard that are good. I think that Boros Convoke is the best aggro deck in Standard, but it's not as good as a lot of people like to claim it is, even as the best. And I'm sorry if that's a controversial statement. I just think that even, especially Boros Convoke players, will tell you that like it would be nice if we could speed up the clock slightly against decks like Blue, White, and Domain and stuff. So not saying you don't have a fighting chance, especially on the play, right? But imagine if you had the Boros Fastland in Standard. That would really unleash Boros as a color combination, and really it would unleash a lot of aggro decks in Standard right now. There are multiple Orzhov decks, like, of course, Aristocrats, right, that could really, really dig a Fastland right now, as well as Izzet decks like Delver, Monastery Swiftspear, those kind of decks that could really use, again, just a Fastland would work absolute wonders for decks like those, and there's plenty of others. Like, if Green-Black had a Fastland right now, Insidious Roots might actually be a deck, but it trips up on mana so much in the early turns, right? So I think there are definitely some decks being held back by the fact they don't have these lands, and there's even some 3-color combinations that are being held back by that fact. Like Mardu, Abzan, Jeskai, that all want to play like small creatures in the early turns and not lose so much tempo to like weird mana drops and stuff. So I'm just saying Fastlands would really, really help, or something akin to them. Again, don't think we're going to really see them. We've already seen some dual lands from the set in the leaks. And they're interesting, but they're common, so who knows? There could still be rare duels or something in this set to really help us out. Another idea is the opposite color tri-lands to what we already have in Standard, and see what mid-range decks can do with those, or control decks can do with those. Again, I don't think perfect mana is a thing that every deck should have all the time, but the last few months of Standard here, I think it'd be really interesting if we had perfect mana with such a deep Standard, deeper than we've literally ever had before. I want to see what all the decks can cook without having to worry about mana problems. And again, bring it back to the beginning of this argument, I do think that despite what some people might think about aggro in standard right now. You know, some people might think aggro's too fast or whatever. Mono red is all but dropped off the map. It's not even as prevalent in best of one as it used to be. People are really on Boros. And again, I think even the Boros players would say that like their clock needs to be a little faster against Path of Peril and temporary lockdown and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm just saying, I'm not, aggro players will always take anything. You give them an inch, they take a mile, you know, but I just think that any, you know, untapped lands that can help out aggro decks that aren't already getting the help they need would be really, really awesome right about now. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. We can argue about it till the cows come home. All right, I have one more. I'm sorry. But anyway, I guess that's all I got for this one. Kind of a shortish video today, but again, I couldn't like devote all 5 of these slots to things that people already said like a million times, and there's a lot. There's like multiple posts on Reddit where it's like 50 bullet points literally of things that people want, and it's all like crazy Wild West tropes and stuff. So there's a whole lot of stuff that I kind of couldn't talk about, except for the one thing. I allowed myself one thing that everybody's wanting in this set, and I really just did that so I could agree with you. But let me know what you guys want down there in the comments section, and then do all the YouTube stuff, like the video, subscribe, especially considering preview season is really, really close, just a few days away at this point. So if you want to see me cover the previews, make sure you sub to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, blah, blah, blah. So you can also check out the Patreon if you want to support what I do around here. You like my face, you don't like my face, you like my voice. You don't like either, but you know, I'm a nice guy, you know, whatever. It's just $1 a month to vote on content around there. You get to pick what decks we do once this whole thing comes out in the first place. But anyway, that's all I got for this one. I guess you can follow me on Twitter and do all the blog. Do content creators. I'm a content creator. Do that stuff. Anyway, that's basically all I got for this one. That's Allski Kowalski, and that is Itski Lowitsky. So I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. I am Dev from The Place. Thanks for watching, Wizards. Spread love and be kind.